Did he go? Yes, he did. That's it. Celebrate, Nashville. The Sounds are coming home. PCL champion.
The most important part of the whole group was the familiarity that we have as one each other.
And now we're hanging out after the games, going to lunch before the games. And it just makes that much fun going to the ballpark.
Brotherhood, you know, it was a group of guys that, you know, loved to be around each other and just had fun together.
Immediately when we got to Maryville to start spring training, it was just a different group, different vibe. It was a lot of fun. I mean, we did weird things. We climbed Camelback together. There was a lot of bonding that took place before the season even started.
That off season, before the 05 season, I got a call from Doug Melvin saying, hey, you're invited to big league camp. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. I got hurt in spring training. And then that continued into the season as we went to Nashville. That core nucleus of young players that was coming up to be the next wave of talent in Milwaukee ended up being in Nashville that year.
Everybody was really excited at the start of the year because it was our first year as a Brewers affiliate. And we knew we were getting some star players like Ricky Weeks and Corey Hart, and Prince Fielder was obviously the star attraction.
When I look back at 2005, it was just a culmination of, I guess, the prospects coming together for like, you know, one last hurrah. I thought it was gonna be something special, and from what we're told, we were supposed to be there the whole year.
We got traded in December the year before from Oakland A's to the Brewers. I remember going to spring training, I was like, yeah, maybe I don't have a shot to make the team, the big league team, but at least I'm going to AAA because I already played AA and I killed it. The spring training, I did really good in the spring training. I was one of the last guys that got cut. And, you know, they told me, you go back to AA. I was like, what? I was shocked. The things that I cannot control, I don't worry about it, those stuff. So my mentality was, okay, I got to go back and do the same thing.
I mean, it wasn't told to us, but it was kind of like, hey, you guys are here. We want you guys to, you know, develop, take it serious because we want to, you know, bring you guys up. We all kind of got together and took it that way. And I think we all worked very hard because we wanted to be with each other. You know, we wanted to come up together. You know, you didn't want to be left behind. So we all worked real hard and it worked out.
What's good about the 2005 team was that the prospects didn't have to be the stars. I think a lot of times prospects, you know, it's the overwhelming, they have to succeed. You know, you have that extra pressure. But I think our best hitter on that team was Kevin Ory. He had like 370.
Mike Rivera was another guy who was a really steady influence behind the plate, and he also played very well offensively. Just a guy that was solid all the way around, knew how to keep a team calm, knew how to keep a pitcher calm, because, you know, we didn't have any real star pitchers down there at the end. I think that he's a guy that probably didn't get enough credit.
Me and Prince actually struggled really bad until, you know, mid-May. So we were both probably hitting 200 with maybe a home run. The older guys they had in that team were really exceeding and really kind of excelling, so it took pressure off us.
If we won, like, it just felt like this is our big league, so there is nowhere else to go. We want to win here. That's hard to create in the minor leagues, I think. But somehow we did it, and it was a lot of fun.
It was a great atmosphere when I went there. You know, totally different atmosphere from AA to AAA. Veteran guys that play in the big leagues for a long time, guys that got to be in the game for many years. So it was easy for me to adapt because they embraced me pretty well. Once in a while, they call us to go out, and you have to go. If you don't go, you're going to be fine.
You know, being in baseball for so long, you realize, like, what do the good teams do? They hang out together. They hang out outside of the field, and there's a bond there, and that team had that. You know, there was a lot of veteran players. A lot of guys just brought the team together in different things, like outside of the field.
It didn't always flourish in the beginning, but as you learn to appreciate each other's basic development in their careers, it gelled really nicely that summer.
And the atmosphere with the manager, the coaches, you know, it was a really relaxing clubhouse. Obviously, we have talent, but the way our manager was treating us, it was incredible.
Yeah, Frank Kremlis, you know, was the young manager at the time, and great energy and preparation.
So Frank, eclectic. That's probably the best way to describe him. We learned a lot from playing the previous year in AA and then coming to Nashville. He gave us a certain freedom.
He had more impact on the outcome of the game than anybody I'd ever known. Like, he was ahead of his time in infield shifts and outfield shifts. 3 guys on the right side of the infield against a lefty, what have you. He was a brilliant manager.
You know, me and Ricky definitely challenged us. Little mind games here and there. They were frustrating at first. It all helped us develop and get more mentally tough, because sometimes I'd throw tantrums, and he would do little things to kind of challenge me and kind of make me correct myself. Really appreciate him for that. He got me and Ricky, he got us in line.
But guys like Ricky Weeks and Prince Fielder just took off like a shot and, never looked back. Ricky, I think, hit 14 home runs, and I think he was gone by June. Prince Fielder was gone probably not long after the All-Star break, I think, and he had 28 home runs.
Back then, it was, when you made it to the big leagues, you're only one or two players who was young on the team, and everybody else was vets. We didn't have a whole lot of friends up there, so what we did was we spent time checking the box scores and see what Nashville was doing, and the obvious is, we pulling for those guys, for sure.
What's funny is that it seemed like we dominated the league from start to finish, but we only finished 6 games over 500.
We had such a good lead going into August, and we were playing great baseball, but one by one we start losing our best hitters. It took a toll on us. We were losing some games we shouldn't have lost. I got to give Frank Kremlis a lot of credit because he kept us loose. He kept everybody from panicking. We ended up clinching the night before the end of the season, and it was almost a relief that we had clinched, and then from that point on we just went and played the best baseball we could play.
Oklahoma was pretty hard fought, and it took 5 games, but it seemed kind of like we were in control most of the time. Everybody expected this team to win it all.
Going to the playoff, and I started rocking right away. I hit a homer. I get 7 RBI, something like that, the first 2 games, and 2 homers in 1 game.
It was pretty obvious that Nelson was just oozing power. I mean, the other team used to watch him take BP because he was just a massive guy with just an upside-down pyramid-type body.
Once we clinched, it was all right, here we go. Now we're here. We're going to win this whole thing.
When we went to Tacoma, we took the first 2 games in Nashville, I believe, and then we went to Tacoma and just a 13-inning grinder.
And going there that night, I was like, I heard my teammates talking about maybe you go to the big leagues, maybe these guys going to the big leagues. Not only that I want to win, obviously I want to win, but just make sure we don't play any more extra games.
So I was a situational lefty, and that game I remember they had a lefty and leading off and a lefty in the 5-hole, and I would get up from the 6th inning. I was up every inning to possibly come in if guys got on base to face a lefty. I came into the game, tie game situation. I got out of it, and then Kremlis sent me back out for the 8th and the 9th, and it was a tie game, and just a nail biter.
Went back and forth, and then finally, Nelson Cruz hits a home run in the 13th inning.
I remember we playing extra innings, and I told Skip, put somebody on second base, and I'm gonna drive it in. And that's exactly what I did.
I was up in the bullpen all night long that night, and then when he hit that, it was like, oh, thank you.
And I remember just killing the ball and went over the scoreboard in Tacoma, and we end up winning the game for that homer.
Brett Everett winds up getting the final out on a check swing.
Did he go? Yes, he did. That's it. Celebrate, Nashville. The Sounds are coming home. PCL champions.
The sight of Brett Everett closing that game out and throwing his glove up after what he had gone through that year, and him and I are lifelong friends. We were teammates with the Braves. That's one of my favorite memories, is seeing Brett throw his glove up and the celebration.
Yeah, the president of the league was there, so he gave us the trophy. He announced me as the MVP. They also called me up to the big leagues, so it was a magical day.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. When I got called up the second time, I was happy because but I'm like, man, I wanted to finish the season. I thought if I could win this, it would carry over to the big leagues. I wanted to stay there so bad to try to win with the guys. It was definitely awesome watching them, following them the whole time I was up there.
What I found out afterwards is that our game actually wasn't on the radio that day. We were on online only, and a bunch of Sounds fans had gathered in Sluggers, which was the restaurant at the old Greer Stadium. And I guess there were 60 or 70 people up there that were listening to the game online, and I thought that was very special because the fans really got behind the team all season. They always do.
It's AAA, but for us it was a big deal. Obviously for the city, for the fans, but for us it was a really big deal because again, the camaraderie that we had as a group.
Being in the game for so long, you realize how hard it is to win. You have to enjoy it when it happens. You have to celebrate that and enjoy it, because there's some people that are in the game for 50 years and might not ever go to the playoffs or might not ever win a championship, and you just have to really celebrate it when it happens. And it was a special year, and I was so thankful to be a part of it.